Welcome to the Soopamone TV show. I'm your humble host, Soopamone. This song is for the lovely mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow. Hope you get what your heart desires. Hope your husband treats you well. Hope your kids do you right. Hope the baby daddies get in line and recognize the wonderful beauty that you are, the portal to life, the earth. Welcome to May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. I recommend you do something for your mental health. Reading, exercising, hobbies. Pick up a new hobby. Learn something. Add more value to your life. Add substance to your life. And as I already said, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers for bringing in these beautiful, beautiful children into the world. Make sure you nurture and instill in them the way to go so they won't part from it when they become older. Thank you for being the mothers that you are. Thank you for bearing life, bringing life. Thanks to all the mothers. Have a beautiful day tomorrow. And let's get into today's topic. Today's topic, the different people of the African diaspora breakdown. I'll be breaking it down. Meaning, all of us we share globally the same issue, the same problem, white supremacy. Yet, within our group, there's division, unfortunately, because of confusion, which is through no fault of our own. This has been since slavery, the Willie Lynch days. Good morning. First of all, let me retract and apologize for being so late today. Getting my notes together, I wanted to have everything in line for y'all. I didn't want to be all over the place, so it took me a little longer to get my notes together. But there is division amongst us, and with this division is confusion. And good morning, Miss Tay. Welcome to the show. There's confusion, and some of us are used to keep up the confusion. Some of us are used to help keep the divide and maintain the divide, because as soon as we gather, come together, organize, they know it's a wrap. So, unfortunately, there are people in our community who will willingly sabotage movements that we put together, vibes, organizations. When we organize, that's why we got to be thorough in who we're doing business with and putting things together with, because anything that's positive for our community, they're going to try to derail it. So this breakdown will kind of help you understand the different people that's used and those who are down and for the cause of justice and equality and what's rightfully owed to foundational blacks and just the complete African diaspora. So I'm going to start with the ratchet and the dusty class. The bright weaves, outrageous makeup, nails, floozy-ish, if you will, loose with the body, attention seekers, non-productive in society because they thrive on their looks and things of that nature and bringing attention to themselves. And this makes them a weaker class to be manipulated and targeted and to be continuously confused. Then we have the wannabe street dude with no end game plan, weed smoking, video game playing, not knowing how to fix anything or do anything with their hands, and not productive in society. Therefore, he's weak because he has to depend on others to get things done for himself, for whatever reason that may be. For whatever the reason that may be it no father in the home, no role models, not seeking out a role model, being raised in a system, mother who was there but not there, in the streets, drug addict mother, raised with other relatives where there's really no discipline. You can, spend your time in the streets, learning things from the streets, negative things, rather than constructive things for your life. These are the weaker class, are some of the weaker class in our community, the African diaspora. Because of the easily manipulated factor mentally, like those type people could easily fall into the wave of the national agenda, if you will. Paying attention to things on TV and on these news outlets, not doing their research, of course not, because they weren't taught these things. So your information is fed to you. You don't seek it out. You don't even know to seek it out. What you know is what you see in the streets, what you see in the home. What you don't see in the home, lack of discipline or lack of structure. These type of people don't have ambition, don't have an end game, don't have a plan for their own children. Just exist in life without any structure. And this is detrimental because, you're moving around aimlessly without a plan. Everybody needs a plan. Waiting around for stimmies from the government is not a plan, especially if you don't have a constructive plan for the money to flip it and make it bounce in your bank account several times and double, triple, quadruple. If your mentality is to splurge and blow it on fly gear and bags and things of that nature, and getting lit, throwing parties, that's where you at. That's detrimental to your future, to your kids' future. You're not instilling anything positive, constructive into your kids, which solidifies the weakness of that particular group in the community. Then you have the mammies and the bootlicks, the politicians and the police. The politicians that will get up in front of national TV and scream and shout at a hurt group of people because they letting off steam because they haven't received justice once again, or received injustice. And what you do, rather than to console, is to scream and holler and do the mammy dance for white daddy and mommy. I was getting them in line, boss, white daddy. You see, I was a good mammy. You heard how I told him to go in the house? I.e. Keisha Lance Bottoms, which I find it rather ironic that she announced her non-running in the next race after the race soldier who killed Rashard Brooks was reinstated. You also want back pay. And she was questioned about it in her press conference, and she stood by her decision. But I just find it funny that all of a sudden she came with that, and she came with that decision when this guy was reinstated. But that's the mammy class, your politicians, and then the bootlicks out here denying black folks, telling us that that America is not a racist country. Kamala Harris. For all those who were screaming that she was black, HBCU. Look how she denied black folks. How y'all feel about her now? I'm glad I stood my ground with that. I saw that coming a mile away. Just check her pedigree, check the history. She been doing that. But the politicians and the police, the people in black society, the mammies, the bootlicks, who want to consider themselves leaders in the community, but in my eyesight, they really just want to be overseers. They want to be the ones in charge. They want the pets up under white daddy, who is out here like, I call them the got all my rocks bosses, like the dude from Life. I had to count his rocks for as many people, right? And he loved his job. He didn't give a damn about no color, about no Negroes sharing the same skin color and the struggle. They were in the middle of Jim Crow and all of that, which was the reason that those dudes was in prison in the first place. In the middle of that, this dude loved being at the top of controlling or being in charge of Negroes, to get a pat on the head from a whip cracker. These people want personal gain and celebrity and riches. They don't give a damn about the community who helped them get the position in the first place. They appealed to us. They came to us because they knew they would appeal to the heart of the black community. Like, oh, look at this young black individual running. They got their stuff together. Man, they smart, whippersnapper. They play on that until they get in there and don't do a damn thing for us. Don't say a damn thing for us. Politics is a joke as far as black folks is concerned. Like, a black politician to me is an oxymoron. They're not really for the community, like I said. They're not for the community. They're for their own personal, what they can do for their own individual family. I mean, they don't give us no intel on nothing, on the low, you know, bringing things back to the community on what we can do to come up, none of that. So that there is the bootlick mammy class, mammy bootlick class. Then you have the buffer class, which can, you know, some of these people from the bootlick class is also in the buffer class. Buffers meaning those who intentionally put confusion out there. They're black, play like they're down for a cause, only to disrupt the cause, called agents, secret operatives, working for the man, working for massa, working for white daddy and white mommy. This is why we have to be careful on who we do things with, because there are people in our community who actually want to help in the destruction because they don't like themselves, they don't like their community they come from, and want so bad for acceptance from white society that it pains them, that they literally hate the skin that they're in. A lot of these folks, unfortunately, come from outside of this country. Immigrants, Caribbean immigrants, African immigrants, who have disdain for the American black, the foundational black American, who is indigenous to this land. They're coming with the truth these days, and these discoveries of African bones, thousands of years before Columbus got here, is the dating of these bones. This immigrant class has disdain for us. And we are a unique class of this whole community, the foundational black American. So the immigrants who want to be a part of this buffer class, because not all of them are, some of them are riders, who want to be a part of this buffer class, help spread the bullshit aimed at the black community with terms like toxic masculinity, where it's frowned upon to be a natural, straight, heterosexual black man. Just being a black man is toxic, you know. Showing any type of emotion makes us toxic. Everybody has emotions, some more aggressive than others. I don't condone, abuse in no form or fashion. I don't condone violence unless you're protecting yourself. People like me are called Hotep because, we speak truth to our people rather than all this fluff and confusion that they try to shame us for not going with. Call us race baiters because we speak specifically to the things concerning our race, not baiting anybody. Standing up for our race and our community. Then you have under the same buffer category, you have the Boule, which is basically an underground black society. Mostly these frats and sororities coming out of college. People like Kamala Harris, like Roland Martin, and people in the Congressional Black Con Gang, Caucus Con Gang. These are the folks that talk very, very well around black issues, but don't target, hone in, and back white supremacy in the corner with our issues. They lead up to the issue and then sidestep. They take us on a rocket, show us stars, and then half a mile from heaven, drop us back down to this cold world. Because they make it seem like what they talking about is good, but they're not really saying anything of substance. So they're very good speakers and they know the lines that they ought not to cross when they're speaking, because they want to keep their upper echelon status. Even Michael Eric Dyson, very well spoken, fast spoken, but don't really get to the meat of the substances that we need, Don't really hit to the truths. They're speaking on the cosmetics of things rather than the mechanics of things, if you will. We need people that's pointing out the wrongs that's being done to us, or calling these things out exactly how they are, with no buffers, no fluff, none of that type of stuff. And this is your buffer class. These are also the ones to help guard or keep truth from coming out there, you know, by having us think like, okay, well, you know, they got it. They know what they're talking about. They gonna lead us to the promised land eventually with all the good stuff that they saying, and not really coming to the table and trying to get tangibles for us, trying to get protective laws in there for us, like all these other communities are doing. Excuse me. All these other communities are doing. They out there getting anti-hate crime bills passed. Why ain't none of our politicians trying to get no anti-black hate crime bills passed for us? Nobody's uttering anything like that. So a black politician is a joke if you're not, and especially you saying just the opposite. Like, why the hell do we need it? Because there's no racism in America. And that's so stupid. They just passed an anti-Asian hate race. Come on. You see the lengths that they go to try to confuse us, to try to bullshit us. And the class of people, the first class of people, the ratchets and the wannabe thugs, the dusty, ratchet and the dusty, you know, they fall right into that. Weak-minded because that's what's being fed to you. Let's move on. Sambos and the bed wenches. Sambo bed wench class. The Serena Williamses, the Terry Cruzes, the Stacey Dashes, and a community in itself, the LGBTQ. You have those in there that tell us that these are the ones telling us there's no racism. I haven't experienced racism. You know, the bed wenches, Serena Williams, I'm sure you've seen the pictures floating around surface of her new look. I hope she ain't using the cake soap and bleaching her skin and all of that. I hope that was just makeup, a bad makeup job, but it looked like she had some work done. And, you know, the mind of our people, that she took her beauty, her African beauty, her African natural beauty, and derailed it, as did Lil' Kim. Unhappy with themselves. Michael Jackson, unhappy with but he was confusing because, you know, he knew the truth but did all those things to himself. Well, considering his upbringing, I take it back. But we as a people are confused so badly that we hate ourselves to the point that we change and rearrange our looks, trying to look like the opposition. Trying to look like the opposition to gain acceptance from the opposition. This is another weaker class, and it's also a class who attack foundational blacks, who attack truth because they're afraid, don't want to lose their job. You got Stacey Dash. Well, let me go to Terry Crews, how he always denies racism in any job, how he didn't have Gabrielle Union's back. When she said it was clear racism, he didn't experience racism. Then he gets his twig and berries groped right in front of his wife. He's buck broken on top of being a Sambo. By the way, Buck Breaking the movie is out right now by Tariq Nasheed. I recommend a watch. Buck Breaking the movie is out now, and you can peep it at buckbreakingmovie.com. Buckbreakingmovie.com. Let your people know about it. It is just a breakdown of how black men, black warriors in our society are always being buck broken if they're not strong. In the entertainment industry, how they always trying to get brothers to put on dresses to be in compromising scenes. And this is to continue to spread the image in our young's minds, and to continue to try to, make the masculine male, weak, feminine, so that we don't have a warrior class. We don't have a protective class. The more people they can make feminine, more strong bucks in our community they can make feminine, the better chance they have at keeping down, the warrior class in their minds. And if we're not teaching our men, our young bucks in the community the opposite of this, it's going to continue. It's going to rise. If we don't protect the innocence of our young men, because that's the agenda, even in schools, early in schools now, they're trying to confuse our babies by now they're trying to introduce LGBTQ history, as if they have such a brutal history, anything like slave history, black history, our history. They continue to try to buck break the strong black male, and all of this is to keep our community divided and weak and not knowing how to come together and build, keep us from building, because they know that when we come together, organize and build, we surpass what they do. It's been proven in history. There's no telling what they do, what we do. If we were just left alone and given our reparations and our wealth and what was taken from us, we would take off. Which brings me to our warrior class. The warrior class stands on truth. The warrior class faces the enemy with truth, with their own lies, debunked. The warrior class builds, teaches, and trains his family. He builds his business, economic foundation. The warrior class protects his family and builds his family, makes sure his family, his children are equipped to go out into the world when it's time for them. with the right tools, with the right education. The warrior class builds with other warrior class in the community, strategizes, organizes, and spreads truth in the face of hate. When you have the ratchets and the dusty class not wanting to hear truth because they're afraid of the truth. That's why they stay in the ratchet and dusty realm, because it feels comfortable and safe. The warrior class wants justice and what rightfully belongs to us. They want to be treated as 100% human, not 3/5. They want for the whole system to be abolished and revamped and redone, a system of justice to replace it. The warrior class wants our portion of this planet. What we were duped out of, what we were forced out of. And we can take it from there because we have enough revolutionaries, enough intelligent brothers in our community that can take this thing where it should be, where it's supposed to be. And that's pretty much the breakdown right there. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but it seems like the white supremacists are around here trying to turn up around this mouth. And it always amazes me how white supremacy, the lengths that they go and the lengths that are taken to maintain and uplift white supremacy. I was looking briefly at the show about Mama June, you know, the mother from, what was her name? Honey Boo Boo's mama. Basically a crackhead with a TV show. You know ain't no black folks getting no TV show. But the lengths that they go, I find it appalling that, you know, they're still, you know, trying to make this woman succeed, you know, publicly paying her, paying the family and everything like that. They want this woman to win so bad. And she just wants to be on crack with her crack boyfriend so bad. But nobody's taking those type strides to help a crackhead, a black crackhead. I've seen, you know, some posts about the 2 white girls who jumped the Muslim sister, and it looked like she was getting with them. It looked like she was handling her business a little bit too. But 2 white girls jumped on the Muslim sister, had been bullying her, and she snapped on them. Then I see the one white dude, suspected white supremacist, all in the little brother's face. It was somebody smaller than him, because that's what the white supremacists do, because they're cowards. You know, they pick small people our women, our children, and our elders. You don't see them running up on no real Negroes, no thorough brothers. You don't see that. It's always, one of our gay brothers in the community. Somebody screaming and shouting, help, help, help. Look what they doing to me. I can't believe this. Are you serious? It's always them type. And they know who to pick out. That's why, fellas, brothers, we have to protect our sisters and our wives and our children, our daughters. We have to be more aware and attentive to where they're at and how we're looking out for them, because these white supremacists is turning up, and we have to be the protectors of our women and our children and our elders. So train as much as you should, as much as you can. Because they out here training, and they training their children. So be up on that. Just, because these folks, they out here. They turning up because we waking up. That's what's happening. We waking up. We realizing the game now. The jig is up. So they just wilding out. They really showing their ass, they true colors, they nature. Last thing I want to touch on, as far as the vaccine, the Pentagon reveals COVID-19 detecting chip that can be implanted in the body. The body, excuse me. There's no T in body. I'm going to say that again. Pentagon team reveals COVID-19 detecting chip that can be implanted in the body. And that is from South China Morning Post. Out of bigpharma.org. Vaccines, huh? Good luck with that. Do your research. Don't be sheeple. Get on and stay on code. Grind, you win. Thanks for tuning in to the show, family. It was a good one. I appreciate all y'all who tune in, who watch these. Check out the family label, FamLam. It's for me, it's for you, it's for all of us. We FamLam. FamLam. Alright? You can check out my radio show, Spotify. I post on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is all for inspiration. This is all for uplifting my people, my foundational black folks. I love y'all. I ride for y'all.